pupils. You're welcome to Cradle2Harvard online class. Hope you're staying safe. I hope you're good. And I know we're going to have fun together. I'm Miss Uchenna Okechi, and we have mathematics today. Are you ready? Okay, the topic is Introduction to Fraction. I want to know what is fraction. I know you've heard about fraction in your grade 1. Now you're in grade 2. But we're going to start afresh so you can grab it all. You can get it. You understand it better. Are you ready? Okay, let's see our learning objectives. At the end of this lesson, at the end of the class today, you're supposed to do what? Know how to what? Define fraction. You're supposed to learn how to define fraction. Number 2, you're supposed to name the parts of a fraction. And 3, identify fractions of various objects and shapes. 4, you are supposed to do what? Color or shade a given fraction. These are your objectives. All right, let's look at fraction. What is fraction? What is fraction? When you are talking about, when you hear about fraction, what should come to your mind? It should be what? A part of a whole. A part of a whole. Remember that 1 is a whole number. But we're not talking about whole now. We're talking about part of that one. Part of that fraction. Part of that whole, sorry. All right, let's see this illustration here. Maybe it can help us to understand it better. Now, we have a whole pizza here. This is a whole pizza. We can say it's 1 pizza. Then, for example, you want to share with your brother. What do? You can, okay, this person decided to do what? To cut the pizza into 2. And this is the half of the pizza. This is 1 whole, and this is 1 part out of this whole. That is how many, the person actually divided the pizza into 2, and then you have the half there. This is 1 out of the 2 parts. The person decided to cut the pizza. This is 1/2, and we call it half. We call it half. Okay, let's go and you see, we'll get more examples. All right, want to see the parts of a whole. What is a part of a whole? A part of a whole is a piece of a whole. A piece out of a whole. Let's look at this diagram. Look at this circle. It has been divided into how many parts? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. It has been divided into 4 parts. And now a part is just a piece out of it. A piece out of it. That's a part. You can see that. We have taken a part from the whole. This is the whole, all of them. Then a part 1/4 means you have cut this circle into 4 parts, 4 equal parts. And now you want to talk about 1 part out of the 4 parts. 1 out of 4. Now, if you have taken 1 out of 4, that means you have 1/4. You have what? 1/4. Remember, in fraction, we have 2 numbers. We're getting there anyway. 2 numbers in that fraction, the upper number and the number below. We call the up number the numerator, while the number below the dash is called denominator. But we'll get there. Then the remaining parts, if you want to write the fraction of this remaining part, it will be what? 3/4. 3 out of 4 parts, equal parts. Don't forget, it must be equal parts. You must divide into equal parts. Okay, let's move on. Now let's look at parts of parts of a fraction. A fraction has 2 numbers, as I said earlier, 1 number at the top and the other below. Now let's look at them. The up number, the number up, is called a numerator, while the dash can be called vinculum. This dash, you can call it vinculum, and the number down the line, below the line, is called denominator. Now, remember, we can have, okay, this fraction is called what? 4 parts out of 7 equal parts. 4 parts out of 7 equal parts. That is 4/7. For 7, if you want to use it that way, that is it. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's look at this diagram also. We have a square shape here, a whole square shape, divided into how many parts? Into 4 parts. And now our attention is on one part. One part has been colored for you. And if you want to name the fraction, you say what? It is what? 1 over 4. 1 over 4, because 1 is shaded out of the 4 parts. 1 out of 4. You don't say 1 over 3. No, you have to count all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the part shaded, each of the parts will give you what? 1 over 4. That is 1/4, or we call it 1/4. Do you understand now? I hope you're having fun. Now you're going to be doing a lot of work on fraction. Don't be scared. It's very simple and interesting. Okay, let's move on. Then we have another shape here. We have a rectangle, a whole rectangle divided into how many parts? 1, 2, 3. And how many parts are shaded? We have 2 parts. 1, 2. Out of how many parts? Out of 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. So you have 2 shaded over 3. 3. That is it. It's very simple. Very simple. 2 out of 3, that is 2/3 of that fraction. 2/3 of that fraction is shaded. Why all? We have 1, 2, 3. Don't forget. Don't forget. All right. Then we have another shape here. This is a triangle. And what happened here is divided into how many parts? Into 2 parts. Okay. And the 2 parts are shaded. So what are we going to have here? We're going to have 2 over 2. 2 parts out of 2 parts. That means, who is guessing something here? 2 parts out of 2. This is where you think. What happens? It's going to give us 1. 2 out of 2. It means that the whole is shaded. The whole of the shape is shaded. 2 out of 2 will give us 1. If 2 people share 2 oranges, it will give them 1. It's the same thing. So it means that the whole part has been shaded. All right, let's move on. Now, it's your fun time. You're going to do this. Okay, let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's look at these shapes. We want to divide them into fractions, and then we'll see what we have. Okay, we have divided into the shape into 3 parts. Now, I'm going to shade 1 part. Okay, what do we have there? What fraction do we have here of the shaded part? What fraction is the shaded part? Remember, we still have fraction of the unshaded part. Yes. Now, the fraction of the shaded part is how many there? 1. Bar, we can also call this line a bar. Okay? Over how many parts? 1, 2, 3. We have 3. That is 1/3. 1 over 3. The fraction of the shaded part is what? 1 over 3, 1/3. All right. But if you want to also know the fraction of the unshaded part is what? The unshaded ones will have 1, 2 over 3, 2/3. All right. But let's move to the triangle and see what we'll have there. If we divide it into 2 parts, and 1 part is shaded, what fraction is the shaded part? What we have there is what? 1 out of how many parts? 2. We have what? 1 out of 2. That is half. 1 over 2. I hope you're following. Okay, let's look at this circle. It has been divided into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to shade 3 parts. The second part, then the third part. What fraction is the shaded parts of this circle? Is what? We have 1, 2, 3. 3 bar 4. 3 over 4. That is 3/4 or 3/4. I hope you enjoyed this learning this time. It's very simple and interesting. All right. All right. This is your home fun, your assignments, but recall, we have learned about the definition of fraction and a whole and some parts of fraction. And we said that fraction is a part of a whole, a piece out of a whole. That is fraction. We're talking about those parts. All right, and we learned whole. We learned a whole. What's a whole? We learned part. We learned some fractions. All right, this is your home fun. Just color the fraction of the given shapes. Very simple. Enjoy yourself. I hope you had fun. Thank you. Have a nice day.